The final day of the US-China summit is underway in Beijing, with President Donald Trump and President Xi Jinping seeking to preserve a fragile trade truce while managing deep differences over Taiwan, Iran, and broader geopolitical tensions. After 2 days of high-level meetings, both sides are highlighting economic progress, but key strategic disputes remain unresolved. Here is the latest from the summit. The main focus of the summit has been maintaining the trade truce reached last October, when the United States suspended steep tariffs on Chinese goods and China eased pressure on global rare earth supplies. Chinese President Xi Jinping said negotiations had produced balanced and positive outcomes. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer said the two sides had firmed up agreements covering Chinese purchases of American farm products, beef, and Boeing aircraft. President Donald Trump said China had agreed to buy 200 Boeing jets, its first major order of US-made commercial aircraft in nearly a decade. The figure was lower than some market expectations, and Boeing shares fell after Trump's comments. Officials also said both countries are working to identify around $30 billion worth of non-sensitive goods to support future trade. Despite progress on trade, Taiwan remains the most sensitive issue in the relationship. She warned Trump that mishandling the Taiwan question could send bilateral ties into a dangerous spiral. China views Taiwan as part of its territory and has not ruled out the use of force to assert control. The United States, while not formally recognizing Taiwan diplomatically, is legally obligated to provide the island with the means to defend itself. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the issue was discussed but stressed that long-standing U.S. policy on Taiwan remains unchanged. The summit also touched on the war involving Iran and the disruption to the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important energy shipping routes. The White House said both leaders expressed a desire to reopen the waterway, through which roughly a fifth of global oil and liquefied natural gas supplies normally pass. Trump is also seeking China's support in encouraging Iran to reach a deal with Washington, although analysts remain skeptical that Beijing will apply significant pressure on Tehran. The Beijing visit is politically important for Trump as he looks for economic achievements ahead of U.S. midterm elections. His administration is facing pressure from higher energy-driven inflation and legal constraints on his ability to impose tariffs. Trump struck an optimistic tone, writing on social media that he hoped relations with China would emerge stronger and better than ever before. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Trump also raised the case of Hong Kong media entrepreneur Jimmy Lai, who was sentenced earlier this year. Rubio said the United States hopes Lai will ultimately be released, while Beijing has maintained that the matter is an internal Chinese issue. The US-China summit has produced signs of progress on trade and economic cooperation, but major strategic tensions remain. Taiwan continues to be the most sensitive issue, while Iran, global energy security, and human rights concerns add to the complexity of the relationship. For now, both sides appear determined to keep dialogue alive, even as fundamental differences persist.